Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you how I made this gathered petticoat. This one was actually pretty easy. It was all rectangles and the skirt consists of 3 layers themselves, each one 11 inches high. So I measured my fabric 11 inches up, nipped it, and then ripped it straight across so it was nice and straight. And each ruffle will be 2.5 times the width of my actual skirt. So all together I ripped 8 rectangles and then I cut a waistband. This entire petticoat I did use 4 yards of fabric. To start off with, I went ahead and grabbed my waistband. I did cut this waistband in half again because it was just too wide, but I fused it with fusible interfacing to give it some structure and strength because of all the layers. And then I'm going to go ahead and fold that in half, iron that down, and then I will fold up one edge by a 1/2 inch and iron that down as well. And then I will set that aside. For each ruffle, I took 2.5 of my rectangles and sewed them together, so I had one very long strip of fabric. And with the bottom of each ruffle, I did go ahead and hem it because it would be easier to hem now instead of after I gathered it. And since I do own a serger, I did serge every single edge. And thanks to TikTok, I found a better way for me to gather my ruffles. I take a thicker cording and I will zigzag stitch this onto my ruffle top. And with that thicker cording, I go ahead and gather it, and I don't have to worry about the strings breaking. And I will gather this down to the length of one of my strips of fabric, which is approximately 59 inches. And to secure those, I go ahead and stitch it with a straight stitch. Now on the back side of each one of these ruffles will be a panel as well. So each ruffle will be technically 2 panels of fabric, but the underneath fabric will be not gathered at all. And then I'll go ahead and stitch that down as well. And then on top of that, I will add another non-gathered panel, and this will actually hide my seam allowance, and it will allow me to get the second layer of ruffles on. And to the top of that panel, I will go ahead and add my second row of ruffles. And I did gather the top of this flat panel down to about 48 inches. That way it matches the second ruffle, which is about 48 inches long as well. And then I will attach the second ruffle to that gathered edge. And apparently I did not record the top edge of the skirt. I did go ahead and make a rectangle, which is another 11 inches, that I gathered the bottom edge down to the 48 inch length of the second ruffle, attached that, and then gathered the top edge of that top part of the skirt down to the 22 inches, which I needed for the waistband. But I did make a drawing of what I did as far as what the skirt looks like without the waistband. And then I sewed the waistband on. I attached the non-folded side of the waistband to the top edge of the skirt. And my waistband is long because I like to overlap that waistband when I put the closures on. It allows for my daughter to grow, and I can adjust the closures on the waistband to grow with her. And I actually pleated it at the waistband so I could actually make it flatter instead of gathered. And with one side of the waistband on, I go ahead and fold in the one edge and then fold it in half where I ironed it. And I will be hand stitching this to the inside of the skirt. Lastly is to close up the back of the skirt. I do leave about a 6 to 8 inch slit in the back so that way it goes over my daughter's back end, and I will stitch the rest of the way down. And then I'll add 2 hooks and bars to each side of the skirt, and then the petticoat is done. This petticoat was actually made to go underneath her Christmas dress that I lost all the footage to. I actually made a inspired look by the White Christmas movie. I made it actually the Santa Claus dresses from the end of the movie, and it gave me the fullness I was after for the skirt. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you next time. Bye.